Hello, welcome to Shamanism, Metaphysics, and Grace. I'm Lauren Hubele, and I am here today with astrologer Jyoti Wind with an astrology update. Hello, Jyoti.
Good morning, Lauren.
So, what is happening, Jyoti? Can you help us all today understand all this interesting commotion?
Yeah, March has been looked upon, as a very important month as we've been approaching it. And it holds um, three planets changing signs, and so different influences. So Saturn entered Pisces on March 8th and sets up a new almost 3-year time frame. Um, and Pisces people probably feel it coming, even if they're not born at the beginning of the sign. It's going to bring ultimately more stability for Pisces and more of a sense of, you could say, devotion, or you could say a trust in their own sensitivities and psychic sensitivities, especially emotional and psychic sensitivities. Um, but Saturn moving into Pisces also has us looking at how do we ground? How do we ground our aspirations, our dreams, those things that we've been kind of thinking about and mulling around, and they've all been in the ethers, so to speak, all this time. And Saturn says, okay, let's ground this vision. Let's bring these dreams into reality and keep our feet on the ground, which is sometimes hard for Pisces to do, because Pisces is the last sign. In a general sense, people who are born as Pisces, in a sense, they're getting ready to cycle off because they've gone through the whole zodiac, let's say, all 12 signs. I mean, this is just a generalization. And so when they come to Pisces, it's like, they're already lifting into the ethers. They're already ready to take off and go on to other worlds, let's say. And here comes Saturn and says, wait a minute, for the next almost 3 years, let's ground the vision. Let's look and see if there's some unfinished business here, and let's bring those dreams forward. And then you're ready to go, or
Hmm.
you're ready to continue that cosmic dream, so to speak.
So, Jyoti, would I be feeling that even if I'm not Pisces?
Sure, because we all have Saturn somewhere and we all have
Mhm.
Pisces somewhere. And
Okay.
so in the chart, and so we're all of it, all the planets, all the signs, some more emphasized than others, that hence the natal chart. But we all have all of these energies at our disposal. And so it is about grounding your vision and grounding your dream and keeping your feet on the ground while all this other stuff, which I'll get to, um, is going on.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And
Good.
then we have the big one, which is Pluto moving into Aquarius. It's been in Capricorn for many years. And so we were dealing with the transformation of business and corporate life and structure. And now it's moving into Aquarius on March 23rd at 6:13 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And it will be in Aquarius, just putting its toe in, so to speak, until June 11th. And then it retrogrades back into Capricorn again, comes through next January, February of 24. And then it retrogrades a little bit back out of Aquarius again into Capricorn again, and then comes through in December of 24 and continues for 20 years, which is a long cycle for Pluto to be in a sign. And so many people will say, oh, it's the beginning of the Aquarian age, but I believe we're on the cusp of that. It will be another 150, maybe 200 years until that actually is a golden age, the golden age of Aquarius. And if you look around, you can see this is not a golden age at this point. I mean, it's kind of dark sometimes, that darkest before the dawn kind of feeling. And so, getting back to Pluto's entrance into Aquarius this month on March 23rd, um, it's really offering us a new way to look at life and community. And it's giving us, in a way, it's giving us our ideals back. So things though that don't match our ideals are going to stick out like a sore thumb.
Mm,
And we're really looking at, the equality of all beings. That is Aquarius. That is the humanitarian part of the wheel, the place where we speak for those who can't speak for themselves, the way we champion our own and other people's freedoms. And so with Pluto changing signs into Aquarius from Capricorn, it's very momentous. I mean, it's giving us in that late March to early to mid June time frame a taste of what's coming, a taste of something where there's a little bit different focus on what's up for transformation.
mm, mm. Jyoti, can you give an example of that? What that might look
Sure,
like?
sure. Pluto moving into Aquarius, it's the people's rebellion. It can look like demonstrations and people in the streets and just saying no, enough of the top-down mentality. This has to stop. Um, you can look around, even though Pluto is not in Aquarius yet. Pluto is still the 500-pound gorilla in the room and very, very close to this entrance right now. And you can see the demonstrations that are going on all over the planet. They're just starting. I mean, they have been going. There's been different themes
Right.
here and there. But I think that we'll see more of that where people want to reclaim their right as human beings and human citizens of this planet.
Mhm. So that's a great example and very clear on a community level or global level even. But what about in relationships? Might that be someone saying, "Hey, enough is enough"?
It can be. It can be. It can spark. I mean, Aquarius is the speaker and it's about communication. And so it may spark deeper communication. So that might not be the outcome. It can also bring um, more of a sense of community. I mean, looking at what constitutes real community and what
Mm,
is not, it's fake community,
right.
you know? Um, and Aquarius is very much about the truth.
Mm,
People want the truth, and people are willing to do what they have to do to have the truth.
mm,
And so sometimes it's having those painful conversations. Sometimes it might be that I've had enough and I'm moving on. Um, I wouldn't say that's the overwhelming norm. I would say that it's just um, people want their authenticity and they want the truth spoken to them or shown to them. And they in turn want that authenticity and that truth speaking for themselves.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
So, back to the global view, there is also the rise of AI, and you can see it coming in. It's interesting to watch these different AI programs starting, from last November, just slowly starting to be known about, and how they're, infiltrating schools, and, it's like robots teaching humans. That's a very interesting concept. And so Pluto moving into Aquarius, it's going to bring us future visions, and we're going to have to sort them out and see what is appropriate and is what is not, what is potentially not okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for that.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then the third one, we have Mars entering Cancer on the 25th of March at 5:45 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And Mars has been in Gemini for an inordinate amount of time since last August, turning retrograde in the fall and then turning direct in January. Mars in Gemini has given us a lot to look at as far as distraction,
Mm.
and because Gemini can be all over the place, and Geminis need that. They need that ability to to be mutable. Gemini is a mutable sign, meaning changeable, and Geminis need to be changed. Wanting this now, wanting this in 2 hours, and so it keeps Gemini engaged to have that flexibility and changeability. And Mars in there showed us where it works for us and where it doesn't work for us, where we can spread ourselves too thin, where we need to speak up in an appropriate way, let's say, and have the conversations we need to have without, dipping into slander and things like
Mm.
that. So
Mm.
Mars is entering Cancer. It's leaving Gemini after this long haul, and it's entering Cancer on the 25th of March, where it will be for, oh, I didn't look, several months. And it's then about looking, it's several things. It's looking at the pulse of humanity, because Cancer is always about trends and fads, and putting your finger on the pulse of humanity and know what's moving through the culture, and then offering something that is totally perfect timing for the culture to receive what you've brought to the table. So there is that. And there is also home and family. Mars entering Cancer is an energization of home and family, and really what's meaningful in that realm, and where we nurture ourselves and others, where we create nurturing environments for other people and for ourselves, hopefully, and bring that nurturance to the table, whether it's food being served or ideas being offered.
Mm.
It's all part of that nurturing um, situation.
Mm. Mm. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So a lot ahead there.
there is a lot ahead, and then we have an eclipse in April and an eclipse in May, which I'll talk about down the road. So this spring, or early pre-spring, um, is very full of energies that herald change,
Mm.
and not just globally, not just in the big picture, but in people's lives, and what they decide, like with Mars moving into Cancer. What is home to me?
Mm.
Where do I feel safe? How do I create emotional, psychic, and even physical safety for myself and my family? How do I feed myself with things that really nurture me, whether it's food or concepts,
Mm.
and belief systems? How do I prepare the table of ideas or of food for other people to come in and feel like they've reached a safe place?
Wow. Wow. There's a lot of images that come to mind with that too, that then that nurturing is what we need for transformation to occur. And then we're also holding space for others to feel safe enough to transform.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm.
Because with Pluto moving into Aquarius, I mean, it's always the name of the game with Pluto, but this might look a little different. this might look like a more global, public, um, humanity oriented um, kind of flavor to it, even though we all are personally going through, the dropping of the old. I mean, I talk to people every day, and people are coming up against things that they might not have met in themselves for the next 20 years. And they're young people, and they're going, yeah, I don't want to carry this any further. I'm done with this. I don't need to carry this old pattern or a family system forward any farther. I'm done with it. There's something else, and I'm in the act of exploring what that is.
Yeah. So you think people are coming to realizations that normally might take most of their life, but they're coming to it quicker now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and mainly the letting go of old patterns of thinking and behavior that maybe sustained them for a while, but for some reason, all of a sudden, they feel like I don't need this, and it's absolutely true.
Yeah. I'm
It's
done with that.
absolutely
Yeah.
true. They're just ready to step away, and it's that shedding of the old skin. That's always Pluto,
Mhm.
that snake-like shedding of the old skin, and stepping out in a new suit of clothes, so to speak.
Mhm. Mhm. And do you picture that these transformations are a little abrupt and
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely abrupt and timely in a larger sense, but maybe feeling kind of pushed, people feeling pushed to really look at things that they hadn't even considered looking at this
Mm.
point in time. And that's what I mean, that I see people younger and younger just stepping away and saying, I don't need to carry that forward. That was from my parents, or the way things were, 2 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 20 years ago. And all of a sudden, it's like that analogy I used one other time. It's like we're at this doorway, and only you can fit through the door. All your baggage and all your belief systems that were handed down to
Mhm.
you, they can't fit through the door with you. And we don't know, as we step into this new room or new time through that doorway, what we're going to need or what it's going to look like. There's that push and drive, kind of like from behind, that's saying, just keep moving through the doorway. Just
Yeah.
just keep going. If you need to shed this, let it go. If this isn't going to work, let that go, and just keep moving through that doorway, this portal, because that's what Pluto stepping into Aquarius is like. It's opening another portal, and we're going to get a glimpse. We're going to, in this March to June time, we're going to get a glimpse to look through that doorway into this room or this arena that we're stepping into, and we're going to get some information so that when Pluto retrogrades back into Capricorn in June through next late December, early January, we can
Mhm.
re-examine. Okay, maybe my view of politics is skewed,
Yeah.
and maybe I need to rethink this, or maybe my thinking about how I think life should be, which is loaded, is not exactly what I need to cultivate. Instead, I think to myself, or I'm open in myself to, okay, what is next? What is next in, let's say, human evolution, the Earth's evolution? What's next here?
Mm. Mm. Wow. Looking forward to that, Jyoti.
Well, we a lot of us of my age, let's say, looked forward to, the earth changes that were prophesied, all these years, all these centuries. And yet you have to really take into consideration the human toll it will take. And in this case, with Pluto moving into Aquarius, I mean, some people's nervous system will be able to handle this uptick in energy with Pluto moving into Aquarius, because Aquarius is ruled by the planet Uranus, and that's electricity, that's the internet, that's computers, that's higher vibrational kinds of insights and nervous system uptick. And so that's a human condition, and so when that energy becomes more blatant this spring, next spring, um, some people's nervous system, they'll have to find ways, people will have to find ways to meditate or run or walk or swim or, whatever a meditation is for
Mhm.
them. However, they can calm their nervous system so to accommodate this raise in energy vibration.
Yeah, but that's part of the growth, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's a push to gather tools.
sure, sure. Great. What else do we need to know?
I think that's enough.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah, it's a packed month, and whatever you can do to really find ways of relaxing, sleeping as deeply as you can, and having downtime. Besides the relaxing, like meditation or yoga or whatever helps you relax, but also having downtime so
Yeah,
that your nervous system can relax, your mind can relax. It's not tracking, the next hour or the
right.
days of the week, so that your mind has a place to just look at the blue sky or look at nature or watch the ripples in a lake or in a pond, and just let nature soothe you, let nature speak to you while all this cosmic stuff is going on overhead.
Mm, mm. Beautiful. Thanks, Jyoti. Really appreciate you sharing your wisdom. Sounds like a great time for a reading. If someone would like a astrology reading with you, how might they set that up?
They can go to my website, which is jyotiwindastrology.com, and email me through the website.
Wonderful. Great, Jyoti. Thanks for your
Thank
time.
you. Thank you.